on earth is actually going on with The Sims right now? 2025 has been the weirdest year, I think, for The Sims 4 to record, and it's had a lot of weird years. A lot of people have said, including myself, that The Sims 4 is currently at the end of its lifespan. I definitely think interest in the game has decreased quite a bit over the last few years, quite dramatically. Before we get into all of the rest of the information, today's video is sponsored by Instant Gaming, and this time the discounts are even better than before. Instant Gaming currently have a Black Friday sale on with a ton of stuff in the Black Friday sale. It's really great, guys. They're also adding deals for Crazy Saturday, WTF Sunday, and Cyber Monday. So you'll have to go back on Instant Gaming daily in order to check what new deals they're putting on their site. You can get Sims 4 packs on Instant Gaming. Most expansion packs are over 60% off, and even the newer packs have really great discounts too, guys. It's amazing. If you want a personal suggestion, okay, I really love Pokemon, so if you have a Switch, you could try Legend ZA/ZA. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. This is an excellent game. It's more of an RPG, got nothing to do with The Sims. If you have Animal Crossing, the Happy Home Paradise DLC is currently 24% off. If you haven't got that DLC already, but you do have Animal Crossing New Horizons, this is really fun. Town to City, which you guys know I absolutely love lately. It's a really fun city building game. It's currently 25% off. Even I was surprised at how many discounts you are getting with the current Black Friday sale. I will pop a link into the description of this video, and honestly, most videos I do, you are unlocking insane discounts on all video games, and you also help to support my channel. Thank you very much to Instant Gaming for sponsoring today's video. If we look at the most recent pack that's come out for The Sims 4 Adventure awaits, it turns out that actually retirement awaits, because I feel like this has marked a great ending for The Sims 4, where the pack concept on paper should be an extremely popular concept. And even in my review for The Sims 4 Adventure awaits, I mentioned how it was actually quite a good pack in many ways. It's really great for family players who make up pretty much the majority of Simmers. It comes with a ton of gameplay for kids that we've just never really had before in The Sims 4. It comes with the custom venue feature, so you can basically create any kind of venue that you like. They even brought back imaginary friends. It was a very weird pack because in many ways it was kind of experimental, but I also feel like it was also very safe. I think one of the main reasons why the pack didn't really do that well, firstly, is because they perhaps marketed the pack wrong. I think they could have done a better job as marketing it as a family gameplay pack. I feel like that would have made a lot more sense. I think the whole technicality aspect of having a custom venue is really confusing. Trying to set one of these custom lots up and set up the schedules for it and the different stuff and the roles and the times and the actions, it is way too much. It is insane. Even as a seasoned Sims player, I think you'll really struggle with the pack, and a lot of comments that I saw online about the pack were just simply, I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do with this. And it's really interesting to say that because Adventure Awaits was rumored to be EA's biggest Sims pack to date, the most expensive Sims pack ever made, and it's also one of the bigger flops of The Sims 4. And in this situation, by flop, I simply mean a pack that should have been great but wasn't. And then just before we had Adventure Awaits, of course, we had The Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature. This was another pack that I was extremely excited to play. And then in my review where I dressed up as a fairy, I actually didn't give it a good score. Exactly the same with Adventure Awaits. And fairies have been requested for such a long time, and finally we get them, and the pack came with generally quite negative reviews. You see, it came with the two sides. It came with the fairy side, and then it came with the natural living side, and we've already got natural living spread across many other different packs, and the pack came with a lot of reused animations and actions but labeled different. The gameplay of the pack was poorly designed, the fairy spells were poorly designed, and really fairies are just normal Sims, but they have wings on their back, and that's pretty much it. And then we have The Sims for Businesses and Hobbies, and I just want to say this is probably one of my favorite packs for The Sims 4. It was the first pack released in 2025. I actually think they did an incredible job with the whole home business system, where you have your own apartment, but downstairs you can have your own little business. And I've tried this many times, making my own laundrette, making like an animal animal farm park, opening and running your own tattoo studio. There is a lot you can do with businesses and hobbies. It truly does feel quite unlimited. On this channel, I have a record of calling it the Businesses Without Hobbies expansion pack because it doesn't come with hobbies. The name of the pack was fucking horrendous. And one of the main reasons why I actually referred to this pack as a flop in my review of it was simply because it didn't really come with any new hobbies. It was solely about the business side of thing, and I think the marketing was really awful. But if you ignore the marketing, I actually feel like the pack itself is a lot of fun. I feel like it has a lot of replayability value, which most Sims 4 packs don't have. I also think, I just want to say, it's kind of weird that they released this pack where you can create your own custom lots with custom actions that people do, and then Adventure Awaits did the same thing where you have a custom lot that comes with custom actions that you do. They basically did the same thing twice in a year, which I think is totally bizarre, especially because they actually did a better job, in my opinion, with Businesses Without Hobbies than they did with Adventure Awaits. I think that's another reason why this has been a very weird year for The Sims 4. Unfortunately, EA seem to have been making a ton of major profit first cuts with The Sims 4, and weirdly, they've got rid of game packs and stuff packs after reviving stuff packs, which I think is very weird because stuff packs were always considered to be the cash grab of The Sims ever since The Sims 2. They've always been considered more cash grabby than expansion packs, but with The Sims 4 it's kind of flipped and they're just releasing everything as an EP now instead of a stuff pack or a game pack. So stuff packs are actually feeling like one of the less cash grabby things, which I think is hilarious. I think obviously the branding around a new expansion pack is a lot more marketable. Therefore, I'm just assuming they make much more money from expansions than they do from stuff packs, which is why they're not doing them anymore. I personally do really miss stuff packs. The last one that came out was Crystal Creations, and that stuff pack basically totally broke the game, and it left a huge issue with The Sims 4 with a ton of bugs and glitches, and EA really did have to work overtime to deal with them. Maybe that's one of the main reasons why they don't want to do stuff packs anymore, just assuming. The previous stuff pack before that, I believe, was Home Chef Hustle, which again I actually thought was an impeccable pack. And then just before that we've got Paranormal Stuff, which came with a bloody whole new live career. Like, they started getting really great with stuff packs and then they just stopped out of nowhere. As a result, we're in a state where The Sims 4 is so stripped back now. It feels like they're solely just making content that's designed to sell. You know, an expansion pack will sell more money. This pack concept will sell this much money, and I think Simmers are starting to catch on, and I think it's one of the main reasons why the game is kind of flopping this year. I think another reason why we're in such a weird state with The Sims right now is the way that they're approaching bug fixes and patch updates. I truly believe it's iconic and hilarious that the Sims team decided to release this marketing video addressing the top fixes, going over how they're fixing over 150 things. In what world is a video game developer creating marketing content surrounding their bug fixes? It is bizarre to me. Most companies will just do a patch update every couple months or whatever, but the Sims team are literally advertising their patch updates as if it's like a brand new feature. Like, hey guys, look at us, we're fixing the game, whoop whoop. Like, it is bizarre for a video game developer or video game publisher to market patch updates like they do for The Sims. They are trying so hard with damage control this year, which honestly just comes across as a little bit fake to me and just so bizarre that they're doing all this. Do you know what I mean? Like, in what world are we creating these kinds of mini movies about fixing the game and then celebrating it? EA did another video recently, actually. I think this was a day or two ago, where they're talking about bug fixes and they're just showing like before and afters of everything they're doing. I mean, I just want to say I do appreciate the transparency, but I also think it's just very odd again that we are marketing bug fixes as if it's like a big thing when, you know, these bugs shouldn't have happened in the first place. I've made this like analogy before, but it's kind of like punching somebody in the face and then giving them an ice pack and some flowers as an apology. Sure, it's nice to have flowers, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you punch me in the face. Like, obviously, I haven't been punched in the face. Like, it's just like a metaphor, but do you get what I mean? But this was the most bizarre one that they did. Hang on a minute. I'm trying to move my face out the way because they're talking about, did you know that when you add years of updates and there are more than 2.4 quintillion possible combinations of gameplay scenarios in The Sims 4, that's why it's buggy. They're basically saying it's a very big game and it takes so long. How many? It is quintillions, utterly quintillions of things to be done, and we can't do it all. And it just feels really gaslighty and weird and patronizing that they are advertising the fact that they fucked up. They're basically turning the fact that they've made way too many packs on a spaghetti coded game into this whole lesson in life about coding. And I just feel like they're greatly misrepresenting this 2.4 quintillion combinations. And I almost feel like it's their way of saying, well, this is why the game constantly breaks and why it's hard to fix. And it just feels like, you know, maybe you shouldn't have done it that way in the first place. Maybe that's the issue. And it just seems so bizarre that we're getting all this marketing material of them desperately trying to justify to the Sims community why the game is in a current piece of shit state, rather than actually just admitting it's time to move on. And then we got this first article, which was preceded by, I think, one or two more, where they're basically teaching you how to avoid the game lagging by saying things like, don't use too many wallpapers or mirrors, don't use doors that have glass or side lights, don't have too many kitchen counters and computers, and ponds are bad. And they're basically saying, as a player, if you're receiving lag in the game, it's your problem because you need to fix what doors that you've got on your lot, instead of just like EA coding things properly and actually developing a game that doesn't lag to shit. They're saying, hey, you can resolve our problem by not using our features. It's just so bizarre, this whole situation The Sims is in right now. This is honestly why I wanted to make this video. The game has had businesses and hobbies this year, one of the best packs in my opinion, followed by fairies, which were one of the most anticipated and wanted things that flopped. Then we got Adventure Awakes that I feel like shouldn't have flopped but did flop. Less Simmers than ever are really interested in The Sims 4. People aren't playing the game as much. We're in a state now where EA is desperately doing so many bug fixes to this game in order to try and keep it alive, yet nobody deep down I think really wants it to stay alive. The game is not honestly capable of staying alive much longer in my opinion, but in order to justify keeping it alive, they're having to do marketing material where they gaslight you, and I think, in my personal opinion, greatly misinterpret information about how video games work and how performance works in order to justify why The Sims is in a state that it's in. And I just think it's awful, this whole situation. We do know with the current Sims Hub Sims universe that they're doing this thing where they're making The Sims its own strange ecosystem where if you've bought a pack it will work for the other ones, and they're making a Sims mobile game that's going to be alongside Project Renee, whatever Project Renee is. But what we do know is that there will not be a Sims 5. We will not be getting a sequel to The Sims 4, meaning that we're likely going to continue getting Sims 4 packs for years to come, but they can't really do that anymore. They've got nothing yet left to do. I think Simmers really want bands. They also really want hotels. I personally don't think hotels would work, and I don't think bands would work really either. Other than those two things though, if they are able to do them. Oh, and cars, sorry, a third thing. If they're able to do bands, cars and hotels, they've officially done everything. That's only 3 more expansion packs. They're currently pumping out 3 packs a year. It just feels like there's not really much left they can do. It's very limited, and it seems like EA are really investing everything right now into Project Renee, but Project Renee is just going to be some very strange Fortnite no build / Habbo Hotel / Neopets kind of thing. I really don't know what they're doing with it. I don't think they really know either. We were first told that it would not be a mobile app game, that it would be like a brand new PC experience, but it would have mobile features like being able to create objects in cast, but then now it looks like they're just developing an entire mobile game. So is Project Renee just going to be this weird multiplayer add-on for The Sims 4? I mean, we've already got a multiplayer add-on, by the way. There's a mod and it does work well. It's just very strange right now what's happening with The Sims 4, and nobody really knows. The game is dying, yet EA are desperately trying to justify keeping it alive whilst whilst at the same time they're moving on from The Sims 4 with these new projects. The game is getting more and more broken, yet they're doing more and more fixes for it, yet it doesn't actually seem to be fixing all the core issues with the game. Community voted bug reports on the EA forum will not fix a piece of shit platform that The Sims 4 was built on. So I don't really understand where they expect us to go from here. It feels like short-term profits are definitely being put above the long-term survival of the Sims franchise. Yet we also know that early next year, 2026, that EA are not really going to be releasing as many packs anymore. They're going to completely slow down and instead focus on fixing the game and working on Project Renee. EA's kind of not being cash grabby with The Sims 4, yet they're trying to keep it alive because they want to release more packs for it. Nothing they're doing is making any sense, and I don't really think EA know what they're doing either with this game. It all just seems utterly bizarre, and I am really worried about the future of The Sims right now, especially as well because now Paralives is so far away and Inzoi is extremely far away from an actual fun for release build of the game. The Sims is all we've got left right now, and nobody knows what's going on with it. And uncertainty is scary. Of course, we're only human. I'm confident that we're probably going to be getting a lot of kits because we did hear from a credible leak that kits are basically what's supporting the free base game updates for The Sims 4. And this obviously includes the patch updates, the bug fixes. So if they are spending a lot of time doing bug fixes, I do think we'll be getting a lot of new kits. I've said this before, of all of the cash grabbiness of EA and The Sims, kits are actually one thing that I do like about this game, because they truly do feel just optional. It's like a weapon skin or a character skin in a shooter game like Fortnite or something. Like, it's so optional that most people are just happy to buy them. They don't care. I genuinely feel that way about kits. They're the one microtransaction I will happily buy. So I'm excited to see if we get a lot of new kits this year. I'm excited to review them and look into them, but I'm not excited to see what's happening with The Sims as a whole. I think as an update, just to give you guys on my channel, I'm really enjoying, by the way, doing a lot of the Let's Play content recently. I'm really enjoying actually just playing with this game and laughing at all the bugs and glitches and coming up with funny storylines. So if you're just here for the news content, that's fine, but you might want to check out one of the Let's Plays here if you'd like, as I'm having a lot of fun doing them lately. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think of the current state of The Sims 4. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.